Hey everyone, I'm Tasha Scott, and today I just wanted to come and just meet some people for the first time and maybe just reintroduce myself to those who already know me. So, I'm in Montgomery, Alabama, and I own a business called Maximize Growth LLC. I have been a serial entrepreneur now for, gosh, it feels like 20 something years, literally. But I want to take you back on a journey for how I got started in business because I think sometimes people forget and just think that people arrived here and, people say, man, you make it look easy, or I want to be like you, or I want to do what you're doing without really understanding the dues that I had to pay early on. So today, that's what I want to do. I wanted to kind of just take you on a journey of how I got started in business, where my drive and passion comes from, and hopefully enlighten some people along the way. So for me, my very first business started when I was in the 8th grade. I had a paper route. And my dad was military, so we traveled all over. Never was in the same place more than 2 years. The shortest place that we've been was 6 months. So during this time, I decided that I wanted to make some extra money, and we lived in Colorado Springs. I'm sorry, we were in Oklahoma. See, we traveled so much. We were in Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma, which is where Fort Sill, Oklahoma was. So during that time, I decided that I was going to do a paper route. And back then, the way paper routes went was probably like 4 o'clock in the morning. They would deliver your newspapers to you, and they'd be in a stack, and it'd be a thick stack, and they would give you plastic bags and rubber bands. And what you had to do was you had to take the newspapers, roll them up, put the rubber band on them, and if it was raining, you wanted to put it in the plastic. And then I would go before school and I would deliver these papers door to door. The fun part of this was at the end of the month, I got a chance to go to all of the customers, knock on their door, ring their doorbell, and collect the money. Now, the way it worked is a portion of that money that I collected from their newspaper subscription, I was able to keep for myself, and then a portion I had to send to the paper company. And that's literally how I started my first business. That's how I learned about commission. And I was hooked, y'all. And for me to be that young, I was super, super excited. I just knew at that moment of my life that I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to be an entrepreneur because the thrill of being able to go deliver, to pick up, and of course, there's things I had to do to maintain my customers because I had to make sure I knew this particular person wanted their paper maybe in their mailbox or on their front porch. Some people didn't care. So I had to learn customer service and all of that. And y'all, when I tell you I was hooked, I was hooked. And that's when I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Well, fast forward, life happens. Went through school and graduated high school, ended up going into the military. I was in the Army Reserves. So that, for those of you all who are not familiar, that's where you go away for your basic training. Mine was in Fort Jackson, Alabama, and I'm sorry, not Alabama, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Went away for that, and then I had to do the school after that, which was called AIT. So was gone after I graduated from high school for a little bit to do that. Then I came back and I went to school. I went to UAB in Birmingham because we moved at that time. And I knew, again, that I wanted to be in business. And so I enrolled in UAB. After that, y'all, I'll be honest. I realized then I wasn't a traditional student. My major was business, but I think I was there more for the parties. I think I was there more for just trying to figure it out, but I was not into school. So I ended up getting a part-time job at a law firm. And by this time, my dad was getting ready to move again. So that's when we ended up moving to Montgomery, Alabama. And I tried the school thing. I really did. I tried the traditional route. I ended up enrolling in another school here and then enrolled in another school. But my major was always business. I never ventured away from that desire. This is when I knew that traditional college at that time wasn't for me. was I enrolled in an economics class. It was two. It was an accounting class and an economics class. Y'all, the first day of the economics class, it was over my head. They went over the syllabus and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not coming back here. No lie. And then the accounting class, I don't think I finished. I know I didn't finish, but y'all, it was just like over my head. And I knew that I wanted to be in business, but I don't know. I was kind of like just in a confused place at that time because I was a professional student going from school to school, trying to find my place, trying to find my thing. But I knew it was business. I just didn't know how to function in this way. So I got hired at a law firm. Fast forward, got hired at a law firm and decided to try this school thing one more time. But this time it was because I had started another business, and this business was called Timely Task. Timely Task was an administrative support service where I decided, you know what? Whatever people need, I can do. If you need me to transcribe, you need me to clean your office, you need me to organize, you need me to whatever. It was Timely Task. The thing about it is, y'all, I actually was making money, so much where I ended up hiring two of my friends to help me because business was booming. A wise person sat me down and she said, Tasha, you're gonna burn out. You cannot be a jack of all trades. You need to figure out what's your niche and you need to figure out what you want to hone in on. So me being the hustler that I was back then, I looked at everything I was doing and I was like, okay, what can bring me the most money and what can I do like really fast? So out of all of that, transcription came up. So there was a school here, it was a trade school. And I decided to go to the trade school and I decided, you know what, I'm going to enroll in medical transcription. Until I got to the admissions counselor, she saw that I was working for a law firm. And at that time I was a paralegal because I got certified as one. She said, why don't you consider becoming a court reporter? Because court reporters make more money. In my mind, I was like, yes, genius. So I enrolled in both, only to end up dropping the medical transcription. And I ended up graduating from this trade school, which is called Prince Institute, with an associate's degree in court reporting. 6 months after graduation, I started my next business, which was Scott Real-Time Reporting. Now, in that business, I found my niche. It wasn't traditional depositions. I even had a job offer to become a court reporter that worked for a judge. It was like $50,000, state job, state benefits. I turned it down because I said, I want to be in business. This was that underlying dream, that underlying theme that was consistent. No matter what was happening in my life, I knew that I wanted to be in business. So I turned down the job offer and started freelancing. And for the most part, that was going good until I really found my niche in captioning, and CART is what we called it. So I became this person who had this court reporting skill and technology that went to schools, colleges, universities, and even state agencies, their conferences, and started doing the captioning. I used my court reporting technology. There would be students in classrooms sitting next to me reading in real time what was being said in the classroom, or in conferences, there would be big screens where I would be providing the words in real time as it was being said. Found my niche, built that business, got it up to 20 subcontractors. We literally were working for schools all over the state, some big universities, Auburn, UAH, UAB, you name it. Also got some international work. Business was going good until it wasn't. Until I hit a wall personally myself, because what I didn't plan for, I had the success on paper in the business, but I didn't plan for the disconnect in my personal life. So I hit a wall, ended up going to see a counselor and a life coach, ended up signing up for a 6-month life coaching sessions with my life coach at that time. And what happened from that was I discovered my purpose. She asked me some questions, and it really helped me to really hone in on who is Tasha and help me to understand my why. And I was driven at that time by money, but how many of y'all know money cannot be the only driving factor for what you do and how you do it? So what happened because my drive was so focused on money, I got the money, but I didn't have a plan to sustain the money. So ended up hitting bankruptcy and was in a failing marriage at the time too. So this life coach literally helped me, who happened to be a counselor, helped me to really dig deep into why am I doing what I'm doing. She asked me some questions that helped me to go all the way back to childhood and just uncover some things about myself. It was amazing. So much to the point where halfway through our sessions, I told her, I was like, wow, I wonder how many other women at the time, I said, I wonder how many other women out here are like me, who are leaders, who are running businesses, and they're doing all this stuff, but they're disconnected because they look good on the outside. They know how to show up. They know how to smile in public, but go home and cry themselves to sleep at night. I want to help those women. So she helped me to uncover the path. During that time, I wrote my first book. It was called Don't Limit Me. I also started getting requests for speaking. And then people started asking me if I would coach them, because all I was doing during that time was just telling my story. I was just telling my truth, and my truth, it turned out, resonated with a lot of other women, and they started asking me to be their coach. And so I started coaching, I started speaking while I was doing my court reporting business, until things came to a head to where I realized I can't do both anymore. The speaking, the training, the coaching, that started taking over so much that I literally had to come to a decision and say, which one is it going to be? What I did that year is I closed my court reporting business. So the court reporting business went from 2004 all the way to December of 2018. And I closed the doors on that business, and I went full time with a then part-time business. And every year things started progressing. During that time also, when I was making that decision, that's when I got entry into my first organization. It was a nonprofit, and she asked me if I could come in and speak to their staff at a retreat. That went amazing, to the point where then I found my first contract within an organization to do, I didn't realize what I was doing at the time, but it was leadership development and team building and communication. And so also I had become certified with the John Maxwell team, which is now Maxwell Leadership. So I started getting my credentials. I was certified as a life coach, and now I'm going into organizations. And the only thing I knew, y'all, was that the drive for business, the drive to live my purpose, that was the thing that was the driving force for all of this. Now, fast forward, here I am today. When I first started doing this, I'll be honest, it was a part-time thing. It was a side hustle, but now it became my full-time business. Now, instead of writing just one book, I have 3 books that I've written. And now, instead of working one-on-one with individuals, I have now, it's been a one-to-many, where I'm now being hired to go into organizations. And literally, the thing that I love, y'all, is the same thing that happened to me, where somebody helped introduce me to myself. I get to go into organizations and have conversations with leaders, with teams, and help them become self-aware, help them to understand their communication style, their learning style, help them to understand how to connect with others inside of their organization so that their customers can benefit from the overflow. I get to go in and really talk about what is leadership, and how leadership is not just a title, but leadership is a function as well. And here I am, fast forward today, in this company called Maximized Growth. And I would love to say that my journey, my life, has been just an evolution of growth. And the reason why I picked the name Maximized Growth is because when you think about maximized, you think about to the highest height, to the ultimate level, maximized, right? And I think that everybody, every person has a right to grow from the inside out. Some people just don't know how. Some people just don't know what that looks like. And a lot of, in my own journey, what I've had to do is I've had to stop playing the blame game. I've had to stop making excuses. I've had to do the work with support, for sure. And so now here I am with this larger than life desire to really grow this training and development company this learning and development company to not just impact individuals, but to impact individuals who are hungry for growth, who are hungry for change, who are hungry for growth, in the point where it's bigger than them. A lot of people that I'm reaching out to or that I'm interacting with, they have teams, they have followers, they have people who are helping them. So I just wanted today just take you on the journey back to help you to understand, how did I get here today? It was not an overnight journey. It has not been a perfect journey. It is not a finished journey. I am still a work in progress. I'm still on the journey. Now I have a great team that's helping me. I've got an executive virtual assistant who's helping me. I have someone who's helping me here locally with more production type stuff because I'm certified with the DISC personality assessment. So a lot of times I use that as a foundational entry for working with people to help them uncover themselves. And then we can, take it and add to it. So anywho, just wanted to share that about myself. Thank you so much for just listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being on this journey. I'm going to be coming on more often and just kind of sharing my story, but also sharing lessons on how you can tap into that self-awareness. But let me ask you this. I'll end with this. When you think about you, where you are in your life, because I know a lot of times we know what to do. Isn't that the truth? We know what to do. A lot of times we just don't do it. I read something the other day and I posted this, and it says, the biggest fear in a person's life is not death. The biggest fear in a person's life is them waking up and becoming themselves, them becoming alive. And so that's what I want to do. I want to help people become alive with their purpose, but also at the same time help them to understand it's bigger than them, to help them to really maximize their influence, develop their leadership skills, develop their communication skills, and unapologetically be who they have been called to be. Because my friends, I believe you've been called to make a difference. So here's the question. That was a long way of coming about that, right? So the question is, when you think about you, what have been your biggest challenges when it comes to your own personal growth? That's the question. What have been your biggest challenges when it comes to your own personal growth? Because this is what I also know. Personal growth is the true foundation for your professional development as well as your business development and success. So my question, what has been your biggest challenge when it comes to your own personal growth? I would love for you to comment in the comment section, because this is going to help me to know how to show up for you. And like I mentioned, I'm on a journey just like you. Nothing perfect about me. There are just some things that I've learned along the way that help me to not be stuck or to recover faster when doubt, when fear, when insecurity, when self-sabotage try to rear their ugly head. There are some things that we can do to recover faster so that we can stay progressive on the journey. Again, I'm Tasha Scott, owner of Maximized Growth, living Maximized Growth. Thank you for being a part of my journey, and I will hope to talk to you soon. Bye.